And first of all, let me introduce myself very quickly. My name is Minji. I'm Student Programs Coordinator at the Department of French, Hispanic, and Italian Studies. And we are happy to have you here today at the program information session. And I'm hoping that this information session would be very helpful and informative for those who are interested in knowing more about how to do minor in Italian studies, or if you're not considering minor in Italian studies, that's also fine. We just want you to know that we have a lot of opportunity. We have a really fun events going on, and we just want you to know more about us. And so why don't we start? Chiara, I will pass the mic to you to introduce yourselves, and then we can start from there.
Thank you, Minji. Hello, everyone. Welcome, benvenuti, benvenute. I am Chiara Falangola. I am lecturer of Italian here in the French, Hispanic, and Italian Studies Department. I today represent our Italian program. Why? Yes, our amazing Italian program, which we really are striving to create a program that can offer you like a wide variety of opportunities to be used, not only for your personal growth, but also for its actual application on in your professional life, because it will really help you create a series of intercultural skills that will prove very, very enriching for your future. Why study Italian? We all know that Italy is a world leader in various fields, such as fashion, graphic design, interior design, and, as we all know, the culinary arts. Italy, as of 2021, is the country with the highest number of UNESCO sites, World Heritage sites. And I'm thinking of, for example, a lot of my students have already visited the archaeological area of Pompeii and Ercolano, or the Amalfi Coast, where Professoressa Canuto was hoping to create her next summer study abroad, faculty-led course, and it was canceled. But the future looks, hopefully will be more promising, and the Amalfi Coast will happen for our students. Oh, we're thinking of Venice, the Dolomites, so all these beautiful of these natural and geographical and urban beauties that our country has to offer. How do we include this variety of cultural wealth into our courses? So we offer both courses in languages from beginner to advanced levels, and in all of our language courses, there is always a cultural framework. We are very proud to say that our language program is culture-centered. We use a communicative approach, and students start to learn about Italy, Italian cultures that can be outside of stereotypes of more sort of like traditional views. We see all of these starting in our language courses. And I invite also Professoressa Canuto to intervene whenever she wants to add something. She is our language program director, and you can see her in our guests.
I actually wanted to go there right away. We have actually slide for that. Why don't we start from here? Because we have Professor Canuto here, and I'm more than happy to invite her to jump in and then talk a little bit more about language courses or anything that you want, Luisa.
Sure. So thank you for inviting me today, guys, and I'm very happy to be here. So the one thing that I want to say from the start about the Italian program, it's a small program, but the good thing about being small allows us to be very dynamic. And I'm saying that with a lot of pride, really, to be honest, because it's a program that is changing, is continuing to, updating. And yes, some courses we've been repeating and offering them for a long time, but we keep adding new courses, and really we're very responsive to student feedback and interest. We have been collecting data on students who take our courses to learn why they take our courses and what they want. And we really integrate the feedback into creating new materials. So for example, our language courses have been completely revisited, completely changed, that we integrated the European framework years ago, as a matter of fact, first on a more course-to-course basis, and in the last 2 years at a curriculum level. So all of our language courses are aligned with the European framework, which I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a framework which was approved by the Canadian federal government. Really the integration of the European framework at a K-12 level was approved more than 10 years ago, and slowly came also to interest the universities. UBC has been quite prompt into responding to the need to align our curriculum also with the framework. And it's a framework that in language learning, we generally use two different frameworks, one that is used in the States, AFL, and the one that comes from Europe, a Common European Framework, which also is used in Canada. And it tends to be, the philosophical approaches are a little bit different. The European framework is much more open to plurilingualism, to the concept of intercultural and transcultural approaches. Really the understanding that learning a language means not just learning a conjugation, as you know very well. It actually means truly opening our minds to what it means to approach another culture, not just a language, but a culture. With Chiara, I'm really happy. Chiara joined us a year ago, and she's brought a lot of experience also from other institutions. And we are integrating more culture, more intercultural materials. We're really opening up to helping our students to see, yes, focus on the beautiful things that we have that we're fortunate to have in the Italian tradition, but also see how the society of Italy is changing, how updating what's happening really in today's Italian society. So really happy to be also able to have that in our courses. One more thing about, and then I'll let Chiara again. So I've been teaching at UBC for a long time, more than 20 years. And I have been leading also trips to Italy. We'll talk about opportunities. Chiara mentioned that I was really hoping for. I got a little mad because they canceled the trip in January. So early on, I went straight to the vice provost to say, why so early? Give us an extra month before making a decision of this nature. But I understand it's really complex for an institution of the size of UBC, to make a decision too late, right? So anyhow, I'm hopeful, and we will talk soon within one of the next slides. We'll talk about other opportunities in, with really going to Italy and so on. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. I'm gonna stay silent for a while.
Thank you, Luisa.
Grazie, Luisa.
Given what we heard from Chiara and Luisa, I wanted to also mention that we offer Italian minor. And if you have been already following Italian 101, 102, 201, 202, actually you're on the right track. If you want to learn more about Italian studies, culture, you only have to fulfill 18 more credits from the upper level. Any type of courses that we offer at the upper level is going to be eligible for, it's going to count towards your minor. So please take a look at the calendar. Please look at the list of the courses that we offer, and I'm more than happy to set up an appointment with you and go through all the course offerings as well. And so this summer,
Minji, sorry, can I just jump in? Do you have any question about the minor? Sorry to, but just in case there's a question, are you okay, Minji, with taking questions on the minor? If there's any question on the minor, can you go back to the previous slide?
Yeah, actually, we are going to have a Q&A session at the end.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah. Which include also scholarships and bursaries, Minji?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
We actually offer Italian 101 and 102 in summer if you haven't taken them already. And we have online courses and in-person course as well. So if you are interested in knowing more about or getting to know about Italian languages, please take a look at the summer offering. We have 2 sections of Italian 101 and 1 section of Italian 102. This is for summer.
We'll be teaching an online session this summer of 101.
Thank you, Chiara. And as we know today, we have Luisa, Chiara from our faculty members. And if you visit the website FHIS, you will see all the list of the faculty members that in our department with their specializations. So please visit us. And I'm really, really excited to have Shava here today with us. And she is our Italian student undergraduate representative. And thank you so much for your time to join us today to share your story. And I will pass the mic to you.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to represent as a student because I've been studying in the department. I'm an employee at the campus, so I always take courses, partly because that as an academic advisor, that keeps me in touch with the student experience, but it's also really good for your brain as you get older to be studying, especially studying language. I've been studying for probably 11 years now, and I've reached a point where when I travel to Italy, I'm able to have conversations with native speakers, and they're so kind, so helpful to me with my Italian, and they're just delighted that I'm learning Italian. It's not part of my family's heritage. I just fell in love with this language the first time I studied it. I took a travel course because I was taking my daughter to Italy for her 16th birthday. And I never stopped studying it since then. It's a fabulous, fascinating, romantic, poetic language, and it is so much fun to study. I've studied with almost all of the Italian professors in the department, and they've all been really great. It's an impressive department, and I know that you, even if you're not doing the minor, you will enjoy studying with this department. I'm not sure what else to tell you. I've studied several different languages, Japanese, Hebrew, French, etc. And this is the first time I actually fell in love with the language. And one of my passions is translating. So that's something I do to practice the language, is to translate from Italian into English or the other way. And it deepens my experience of the literary works, as well as my experience of both languages. But there are so many other resources available, free resources that I use. It's for me, reading comprehension, that's been fairly easy to grasp, but you really need to listen to Italian and practice speaking it to get those cognitive leaps. And I've experienced one this year in my studies where suddenly things just started to click again, and it's a wonderful sensation. Can I answer any questions?
Any questions for Shava? Or we can always have a question session at the end of the information session.
Is there anything else you want me to address, Minji?
Oh no, I mean,
I should mention that I did travel to Venice with Professoressa Canuto. And what a great experience. I really want there to be a similar experience offered for senior students, because I want to do it again at my current ability level.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. We will have more opportunity to ask questions to Shava if you have any. Why don't we move to our next slide? So I will open this for Chiara and Luisa. And I just wanted to say that learning language isn't just about learning language. Myself as a language learner, just learning different foreign languages allow you to be able to have completely different worldview, and you will have communication skill, you will have cultural awareness, you will have culture and competency. It's just like so many things that you will have with just knowing how to speak language. And we want to deliver how language can
It looks like Minji has frozen, a short technical issue there, but I can echo that sentiment that even with the 100 level Italian that I had years ago, it made me a much more capable traveler. Like I was braver as a kind of a shy person. You may not be able to tell I'm a shy person, but I found that I was a better explorer once I felt like I could share some of my language learning, but also the history that I've learned through these courses, the history of ancient Rome, but also the Renaissance. It's just an incredibly rich area of the world and the world's history. And also, you don't realize it, but you've already got probably 1,000 Italian words in your vocabulary. You just don't realize that it's Italian.
Ava, you're such an amazing advocate. You expressed everything so well. And yeah, like I think also I specialized when I was younger in English literature and French literature. So all my entire life I studied foreign languages. And I think that I feel that there is a component of just like personal growth, being a better person for just opening your horizons. There's more and more need to have intercultural competence to just create more positive spaces around us as human beings and as professionals. So I feel that apart from literature, history, cinema, there's really this ability at creating a person capable of interacting, applying these skills in a multicultural world.
I agree entirely. And I noticed that it doesn't just apply to Italian culture. It's changed my perception of all cultures and my perception of myself as a global citizen. And also how I hear things. Previously, a foreign language might just have sounded like a stream of syllables. Now it doesn't matter what language it is. I can start to pull out words. I can hear things, and I can even start to think about what that might mean. So it's a tremendous skill set.
Yes, that's sort of like curiosity that becomes intellectual and then becomes cultural, and it's just opens up new worlds, new friendships.
I totally agree. I cannot agree with you all more. And this list in the slide is just a very few examples of how Italian language and culture and literature that you learn from the program into actual real world. Speaking of that, I would love to share a video of one of our alumni. She was a Spanish student, but I think the story that she's sharing, how language, literature, and culture studies can impact your career choice and your future choices. I think that this is very, very applicable for everybody. So let me share the video. Okay. Can we hear?
My name is Asli Kaidapetia, and I graduated from UBC with a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish and International Relations. I think learning Spanish was one of the most useful hard skills that I gained out of my undergrad. I think it opened a lot of doors for me down the line. So in undergrad, I was able to go on exchange in Spain for a semester. And then after that, I was able to intern at the Embassy of Canada in Chile through co-op. Being in an environment where I had to just go about my daily life in another language, I think that really forced me to get over the inhibitions and kind of insecurities and just force myself to do it and get better. I've surprisingly been able to bring that into law school and experiences that I've had there as well. So I'm interested in international law and human rights. So last summer I went back to Chile, working at another organization that does research on judicial systems and judicial reform in Latin America. As far as the Spanish major, my analysis skills were really built up with my classes, especially analyzing literature and having to think really creatively about things that are pretty abstract, and that skill I find has been really useful in law school. Also just the amount of reading that you have to do within an arts degree, that's actually really helpful. It means that you're not really scared of, piles of reading anymore. So I think there's a lot of value in an arts degree because of those things. I think the biggest challenge is not knowing if what you're doing is what you should be doing and if it's the right step for you. For current students, definitely I would advise to take advantage of all of the opportunities that are available. Getting involved outside of classes, going on exchange, doing co-op, all things that I didn't really think through that well maybe before I did it, but ended up being really transformative experiences. I mean, I don't know what would have happened in the parallel universe, but I'm happy with the way things turned out.
I was hoping that Luisa could share quickly some of the initiatives that the department has done to connect students with the Italian community and with the, let's say, the Italophone, Italo-Canadian workforce in BC.
Sure, happy to do that. So a couple of things. First of all, one thing that it might be of interest to remember, the students who we have in our courses are not just language students. We have students coming from international relations, from history, from art history, from forestry, from land and food systems. So there's a variety of students who take Italian because of their interest in the language, but also because of what they want to do next. For example, you can imagine landed food system. There's a lot to learn about, the use of the land in Italy. Italy is quite at the forefront when it comes to actually biological cultures, and they've done a lot of studies, and it's a small country, right? So they had to come up with a pretty innovative ideas over the centuries. So there's an incredible variety of different fruits and different grapes and ways of making the wine and the different kind of wines. So that you can imagine that there's interest there. But then there are also interesting aspects when it comes to history and political science and art history and so on. So what we want to stress is that unlike other degrees, like professional degrees, like law or engineering, doing a minor in Italian means you do it because you want to really learn a culture, embrace a culture, but consider possibilities. So in terms of local, we have been in contact with local Italian communities, a smaller community than, let's say, the Chinese community or the Japanese community or even the German community in Vancouver, but it's still a fairly active community. You can imagine in what kind of fields, from design, for example. So we are in contact with Italian Chamber of Commerce. As a matter of fact, one of our colleagues integrates relationship with the Italian Chamber of Commerce and with some of the Italian businessmen into her course. So students can get to know, like folks who have restaurants and furniture or design stores in Vancouver. We have a very strong relationship with Italian Cultural Center, and often our students have done internships or even small volunteer experiences, work experiences with Italian Cultural Center. They help instructors there if they want to learn how to teach, for example, but they can also work at the reception, again, as volunteer or not as volunteer, to really work on their language skills. We, in terms of experiences outside of the community in Vancouver, we offer study abroad. So, which means, and there are two different kinds for now. We are opening up a third kind, but let's stay with the first one is a faculty-led program where you see is a student of mine who came to Italy, I think in 2019. It was the last year that we were able to be, before COVID. And I've been taking students for a number of years. We've done Verona for 3-4 years. We've done Venice for 3-4 years. We now, we change every 3-4 years to just really opening up different areas of Italy to us and to our students. The next destination was going to be, and hopefully next year will be again, the Amalfi Coast, so southern Italy. Venice is in northern Italy, for those of you who may not remember where, but and it's really, these faculty-led programs are very immersive. We spend 3 weeks together, but literally from early morning until late. We spend time in class, lots of field trips, a lot of extracurricular activities and all of that. We also have exchange programs, and maybe Chiara, jump in and add if I'm missing anything. For now, UBC has relationships, strong relationships, and very established relationships with 3 universities, 2 private universities, LUIS in Rome and Bocconi in Milano, that specialize in commerce and economy. And they offer a lot of courses in English. So our students from Southern School of Business generally can, study with us and then go to Bocconi and LUIS, even if the courses are in English, but they obviously understand that you have a very different appreciation, a very different experience if you can speak the language. We have the other partner for UBC is Bologna University, and in that university you can take any course. It's a campus, it's a full campus, so not undergraduate studies. They offer undergraduate studies in all different disciplines and faculties. We have a newly established relationship with the Padua University. For now, it's with forestry, with the Faculty of Forestry. But within weeks, it's going to open up to every other faculty as well. And so those are exchange programs, which means the students can spend a term or 2 terms and take courses that are transferable in terms of credits to UBC. We are also about to launch a 3rd opportunity, which is for students to take Italian language and culture courses in Italy. In next summer, we are going to visit 4 or 5 universities in Italy that we have been in contact with in the last few weeks and months. And we really hope to be able to then offer our students this option if they want to study Italian 301 or Italian 202 or even Italian 102 on, for 2 months in the summer without one of us following you, but you want to be on your own and study. We are looking at options in Venice, in Padua, Bergamo, which is a beautiful city near Milan, Siena, and possibly also Parma, which is not too far from Bologna. So we're looking at those options as well. Happy to take questions at the end if you have questions and tell you more about these programs.
Thank you, Luisa.
Sure.
And we've talked about a lot of opportunities like go global, study abroad, but also if you are considering minor in Italian studies and Italian, I also want to highlight that we do have a lot of funding opportunity for those who are specializing in Italian studies. And this is especially for students who are minoring in Italian, because all of the words are set up by endowment. So the amount of words is different every year, but I just wanted to really highlight that we have a lot of opportunity for students who are doing minor. So if you have any questions, if you are already doing minor in Italian, and if you know more about a word, please let me know. Please send us an email, and I'm happy to explain, and I'm happy to go through that with you. We have an Italian Student Association at UBC, and just wanted to mention that because, as Luisa and Chiara said, we have amazing and vibrant community of Italian in UBC and outside of UBC. And having that in mind, I think having a community, a sense of belonging is just really important when you start learning a new language. Kiara, Luisa, if you want to anything else to that, or shall we go to the next?
I just wanted to add something about some of the things that, so there is not only like sort of a, we also do community partnerships inside classes, inside our courses. So especially like in the past year, you can see her here in this image, Professoressa Zampieri. And so the one project that was done with the Centro Culturale last term, we have a beautiful video that will be streamed by our dear Celine Diaz on Dante D, which is the day dedicated to Dante Alighieri by the Italian Republic. So it's going to be March 25th. So please connect to Twitter, to our FHIS department, to see the video in which photographs by students of the 200 level are exhibited in the art gallery of the Centro Culturale. And all these photographs were like sort of like images that the students created to reflect upon the work on Inferno, Paradiso, and Purgatorio that we had done in the 201 level Italian courses during last semester.
Thank you so much, Kiara. And Luisa, you wanted to add?
I was simply saying that Celine has put a link to the video that Chiara is mentioning. I don't know if we want to take that, if we want to take a couple of minutes to watch that now, or.
Let me see. Why don't we go to the Learning Center first, because we have a students waiting for that. But then, yeah, sure. Why don't we just watch that video after that? Actually, Miguel, now is your time. I will invite you to explain a little bit more about Learning Center. But before we have him, I just wanted to mention that FHIS Learning Center is where we offer free tutoring sessions in French, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. And I will let Miguel to go into detail more, but if you use the QR code or if you go to the website, you will have a very step-by-step instruction how to book an appointment, how to look at the available sessions on Canvas, and we're more than happy to answer your questions if you have any later. Miguel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Miguel, and thank you, Minji, for briefly introducing the Learning Center and myself. Basically, in the Learning Center, we offer peer-to-peer tutoring, meaning that the tutors are students, such as myself, with knowledge in one or various of the Romance languages. In my case, I'm a Spanish tutor, and yeah, we offer free individual and group sessions. Tutor sessions. In the individual sessions, students usually come into the Learning Center, where I am right now, actually. I'm in the Learning Center space. They usually come in with certain questions about grammar, or they come in to practice their speaking in the language. And for group sessions, they're usually conversation sessions. And right now, because of the pandemic, they've been through Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is the application that we use as our main online hub. And yeah, for example, I host conversation sessions in Spanish every Wednesday. And, sometimes I prepare a theme or a topic or activities, and students have fun, practicing their speaking skills in Spanish. Switching the topic a little bit, my position within the Learning Center is, the title is Learning Center Assistant, along with my coworker, Olivia. And I'm technically a work-learn student, and I've been in this position for over 1.5 years now. And it's really helped me grow professionally, as I'm the liaison among students tutors, professors, and the FHIS department. And many times I had to take a leadership role with the projects that we have, such as the promotional video, which advertises the Learning Center department, and organizing cultural events, such as this past December, we collaborated with a student association, with a Mexican student association club. And yeah, we had a successful event with a lot of attendees. And I also manage the Learning Center, both this physical space that I'm in now and our online hub on Microsoft Teams. So yeah, if you have any questions, you know, I'll be around. I don't know, I guess we'll wait till the Q&A period. And also one more thing is, if you're interested in being a tutor with us, you know, feel free to contact Minji or myself, as we're always accepting new tutors. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. And we are actually, I would love to share this. This is what Kiara mentioned, right? Virtual tour. Do we want to play the video? Why don't we do that? Can you hear the sound?
My name is Angela Clark. I am the curator and museum director at the Italian Cultural Center Gallery. Welcome to our newest exhibition in honor of the 700th anniversary of the death of the poet Dante Alighieri. This exhibition is a partnership between the Italian department at UBC, the Italian language school at Il Centro, and the Italian consulate, as well as the Il Centro Gallery. This exhibition features images which are evocative of Dante's Divine Comedy. Dante's Divine Comedy was divided into three parts. There's heaven, hell, and purgatory. And the students from the Italian department have taken photos which they feel are reminiscent of these three stages from Dante's Divine Comedy. Also, as a backdrop to this exhibition are texts of Dante's Divine Comedy, illustrated texts, and the work of the fine artist Leslie Poole. His almost stage-like, large-scale monumental paintings are evocative of heaven and hell, the fights between angels and devils, and really give us a sense of the forest in which Dante first experiences Virgil, which sends him on his journey. Please join us for this exhibition.
Here we have the stages of purgatory and the student's interpretation of Dante's version. It was said that the souls in purgatory were sent there to face punishment as an act of restoration. It was mentioned that the punishment was fire. In Dante's version, he divided up onto 7 terraces: pride, envy, wrath, sloth, greed, gluttony, and lust. The souls were stripped of freedom of choice and were not expected to become morally better. What's unique is that Dante stages the souls stuck in purgatory as suffering to become good. Purgatory is illustrated as a huge mountain that was formed after Lucifer's fall. In Dante's Inferno, Dante and his guide Virgil travel together in this journey through the 9 circles of hell, where they eventually meet Satan, who is drawn as a 3-headed beast. Dante Lives captures the essence with a modern twist on the Divine Comedy and a new life with heaven, hell, and purgatory.
Thank you so much. Celine shared the link already, so you should be able to look at the whole posting as well as the video. Okay, I would like to go over, oops, sorry. I would like to share the last screen, and then we will be able to open the floor for the questions.
if I can jump in about the previous video. Oh, sorry, Minji, am I? Do you want to talk about these two events?
Yeah, why don't we go over very quickly about this,
Sure.
and then, yeah, we can open the floor. And so I just wanted to mention two very exciting events that we are preparing. First workshop is, as we mentioned in those previous slides, how language, literature, and culture can change your perspective and can impact your career choices. We have a workshop. This is really tailored and personalized for our students who are learning Italian, French, and Spanish, and Portuguese. And we're happy to announce that we are going to have this first ever career workshop on March 31st. This is virtual, 4 to 5. And you can find all the list of the events and activity that we offer as a department here. And you can also use the QR code. I'm also happy to say that we will have a very exciting in-person event coming up on April 8th. And I know, Chiara, you will be able to explain a little bit more. As an FHIS Culture Club Liaison Committee, we are preparing something really fun and engaging. And we are inviting our alumni, Julio Montero. He is instructor of Latin dances, and we invite all of the students to come and enjoy and relax a little bit before the final exam period. Again, all of the list of events and activities are here. Please join us and we'll have a lot of fun together. I will actually now open the floor for anyone who might want to ask any questions. While we have Luisa here and Chiara and Shava, if you have any questions, please just use your microphone. If you don't want to, you can send me the question to the chat and I'm happy to read it.
While students can collect some ideas or thoughts, I just want to tell you that our Cultural Liaison Committee in the department organizes events all year long. And the past events we've organized this year was a wine tasting that was always a cross-cultural, pedagogical, educational, cultural, social event. And we organized a lecture about Italian colonialism and post-colonialism for Black History Month. And our last event of the year will be this amazing in-person educational cross-cultural across the Hispanic cultures and social event, wellness event that I hope many of you will join.
Thank you, Chiara. Luisa, do you want me to share that virtual tour posting?
Which one? Sorry, the virtual tour. The Dante, you mean?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I sure, but I was only commenting on the fact that this is an example of activities that we do in collaborations. So we feel quite strongly in really creating relationships and reaching out. And this is done in collaboration with, as you heard, with Italian Cultural Center, but also with Italian Consulate. And it's an example of how we, we apply, content into also the students can then produce things that are maybe are a little bit different than the regular assignment. So we really try something, and we have been doing this for a number of years. We encourage a student to really think outside their box and do, tap into, if they love doing art or if they love to do, poetry or anything that has to do with really their own way of expressing. And so these are this is just an example, a recent example of something that Elena, our colleague Elena, has been doing in her Italian 202 class, Italian 201 or 202 class. That was really the only thing that I wanted to comment. It's just an example of things.
Thank you so much, Luisa.
Sure.
Anyone has any questions, any comments or any feedback, any questions that we can answer here right away? Or of course, you can use the QR code, or you can just email me with your questions, and I'm more than happy to follow up with you. If we don't have any specific questions for now, before we end the session, Kiara, Luisa, Shava, Miguel, you guys have anything that you wanted to add or say? It's your floor.
I think just a little insisting on the variety of courses we offer and the variety of specialization that the professors in the department have. We have professors specialized in Renaissance and visual culture during the Middle Ages and Renaissance. We have professors specialized in 19th century, 20th century cinema and comparative literature. We have professors specializing in post-colonialism and the relationship in between Italy and China. And all of these things, literature, cinema, post-colonialism, gender studies, we all also include them in our language courses. So I really wanted to stress the importance of a curriculum, of a coherent curriculum throughout language and the literature and culture courses.
It'd be good to know why you're studying Italian and the people represented today. So maybe we can compare notes of what really attracted you to studying the language and the culture. And if you think that we have everything you want, or if you have ideas of other things that perhaps we may want to consider opening up in the future.
That's wonderful, Luisa. If any of you have, or if any of you wants to share why you joined us today, or is there anything else that we could provide you, or if there's anything else that you want to know, please use the microphone or please use the chat so that, oh, I have one. Oh, Brian, hi.
Hi, I'm a little bit of an oddity because I'm in the non-degree seniors program, but I'm in the middle of 102 and have already done 101. I'm doing things a little bit backwards in that I've been to Italy quite a number of times because my wife has family there. But I was busy with work. I'm retired now, and I've always enjoyed listening to the language, and I love the country, and I'm sort of doing it back ways. So, but I'm having a great time learning, and even though my elderly memory is a little bit of a problem at times, but it's still, I couldn't recommend the courses more. The classes aren't too big. Monica, my teacher, is so good, and you know, it was a little scary at the beginning because she rarely speaks a word in English, and everybody was sort of, not so much me, but some of the students, I think, were a bit taken aback at the beginning, and now it's just taken for granted, and we might have to question one or two words in a class. But my interest continues. Obviously, I want to continue to study the language, but also the cross-cultural and understanding the culture more of things, rather than being a tourist, being more of a student. It's all very well to sit on the beach and all that, but you know, that gets a bit boring. So to me, it's a cultural and allowing me, and I like poetry as well, and I like Dante. So, but culturally, it allows me to understand a lot better by having a grasp of the language.
Thank you so much, Brian. We also have one participant who left her comment in the chat saying, I'm studying because I like the language, but I do travel a lot and really appreciate online learning. So I see a lot of interest about the language, but also about the cultural studies that we offer. And we just want you to know that we're here, and we are more than happy to talk to you. We're more than happy to listen to you. If you have any questions, just come to me or Luisa or Kiara, and we are more than happy to have more engaging, more exciting event or activity. So we're all ears. Happy to have another chance to meet all of you in person. And I just wanted to lastly say thank you so much for Shaba, Kiara, Luisa, and Miguel, who joined us today and share all of your story and experiences and knowledge. And I really, really appreciate it. And if any of you have any specific questions, again, please just email me. I'm leaving my email address in the chat. My name is Minji. I'm a departmental advisor. So please reach out to us, and we're more than happy to talk to you again. If you don't have any questions, we are going to close the session here. But thank you so much for joining us today. And it was great to see you all. And we're hoping that we could see you all in person very soon.